Hello, everyone. Back again in the stations live. Today we're going to talk about truth. Can humans, can human handle the truth? Are we on a are we unable to handle the truth? Are we not strong enough to handle the truth? And when I say truth, I'm speaking in terms of life, history, future, present, mysteries, conspiracies, you know. Can we handle the truth? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Also leave comments. Let me know how you guys, feel about my content. Um, I know my content is not as like fancy as many other people, but I ain't trying to make it fancy. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be real. Real people having real conversations, talking about real things, real issues, real problems, giving their real thoughts and real understanding of things. I know social media. There's a social media world. Let me put it like that. Um, and we tend to implement that world into the real world. Not to mention, we also had a world outside the real world versus the real world. If you guys get what I'm trying to say, there's a world within the world within the world within the world. We have multiple dimensions going on, right? So to get into it, um, my thing is today is this truth. From centuries now, if we want to take it back to the beginning, we're talking about the beginning in terms of like science, the Bible, um, third party creation. I mean, every part of the planet that we find excavations of different monuments and pyramids and small community or tribal places. Some of them are relative and some of them are not. And a lot of these places have their own, um, I would say, understanding of what creation was. The most popular ones is the Bible, science, as this is Scientology, and you got the Hindu version, you got the Anunnaki version, which is also related to religion as well. Religion, but the Anunnaki version is a little different because the Anunnaki version got split after Noah. You know what I mean? So it was like two version of creation in the Bible um, breakdown. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Truth is the Big Bang real? Is it a real thing? Do we know for sure? How do we know? Right? Um, was is there a mythical god that came down and put humans on Earth, or is just all this is just a metaphorical way of saying that you know we was created somehow, but we don't know. These we come from stardust, as they so-called say. Was it aliens? You know what I mean? Are we genetic from human beings? Um, I mean, we all have read things. We all have heard stories. Some of us have some depth into the history, and the conclusion I've came to with all the information is that a lot of this is just spectacles and stories. Nobody really know. We just going based on the history and information that we found or find, and still doing some excavating today as well to um to find out the truth. Now the other thing is with the whole alien things is like, why can't we know if we do get visitors to our planet? Why is that such a secret? Give me a second. My eyes itching. Why is that such a secret? Why is knowing what's going on your planet is a secret? Like we see bombs and stuff in the ocean. A lot of these conspiracy theories things about mermaids and different creatures in the ocean and stuff like that. Like, why are these things secret? And if people try to talk about them, they either disappear or they go on the mute, whatever, or they get threatened. Like, why is these things secret? Why is it humanity is being locked from knowing what they're living in or living on or living with? Why is it a not to need to know? What is the reason behind that? Why do you feel like you could lie to me? But then, if I was to run up on this thing, or what's the one that was to, you know, experience these events, you're gonna make me look crazy, or you'll make the person look crazy. You don't want people to know that people had these experiences. Well, what is it gonna do to humanity for not telling the truth? Why can't we express as humans? Because remember, as a collective, we are all humans. We all have a way to live based on this natural planet, based on planet Earth. The things that we know here is all we know here. And for some reason, we think we're above it. Or we have elite people above it. Or, here's another question. Here's another question. Are we being controlled by the whatever? And we don't know. Maybe that's why they don't want us to know the truth. Because they don't want us to know that we are genetically created or whatever, forced to realize that we are being subjects to whoever it is. I'm not a big religious guy, but I used to be, but logic, common sense, instincts play a big role in every human's life. And those are the basic things to human. Instincts, common sense, logic. Logic is if something is correct, it's correct. Like, you can't change it. Hot means hot. Like, if something is on fire and it burns, the description for that is hot. It's the description means it's hot. You feel it, it feels hot. So the logic to it is hot. The object is hot, right? The instinct is when you have a feeling or a sense of something to be right or wrong, or unwhelming feeling for something to happen or to be aware of. That's the instinct, right? And the instinct could well formulate a reality or a logic behind it, right? Sometimes it's just a feeling, It's like you're in a room and you have a feeling that somebody's behind you. That's an instinct, right? There's a sense of feeling behind you. That's an instinct, right? Something instinct can be how should say, heightened or become more aware, I would say. If it's practice, if something become more normal, so you're like practicing it. So that's another form of instinct. You can strengthen your instincts, right? Where it becomes more normal. It's just like a natural reaction, feelings, whatever, right? Then you have common sense. And beyond those things, you bring knowledge, wisdom, right? Experience. Well, experience bring, knowledge, and then you become a wisdom person. Now, with the common sense is you have to test. It's common part of the common sense is the testing part, meaning like something already. Like if you experience, like using hot and cold, for example. If you know something to be hot or cold, based on your knowledge and understanding, the common sense to it is when you see something that looks cold based on the experiences you have, you know it's cold, right? If you see um, three rocks together and there's some black tar wood in between, it's a sense of there was fire there, right? And fire is hot. You common sense kind of make you learn things that you're unaware of. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like a eureka come to your brain. You know what I'm saying? And then also sometimes too, your thoughts is also, I would say thoughts is a big deal as well. I mean, I don't know if anybody can ever really prove it. I don't know if they ever try to understand this whole mentality. I think they did some studies on it, of how your brain works, where do your thoughts come from, right? But nobody really don't know. But there's points in life where we could be, you have they call it meditation, right? You can literally sit there and thoughts would just come to you, things that you never thought about, things that you never really consider or experience in life, and that's where meditation comes from. That's why meditation is also a good thing. Let me say where it comes from. That's why meditation is a good part of life. It gives you a time to open up your mind to things that you don't know. But the question is, where those thoughts come from? Does it come from a place? Is it coincide with what you know already, or is there some kind of like machine feeding you the information, or do you get it from the outside source where this are human beings are connected, neurally, we send signals and to each other, you know what I'm saying? So I mean that's true. Now I'm not saying any of this stuff that I'm good at, I'm very knowledgeable a lot of these things or anything. I'm just saying things that I've read on, things that I have information on, and I'm asking questions, or I want to have conversation with people so we could go in depth on these things, because I'm a naturalist. I'm about understanding how nature works, how we function as a people, because like I said, everything on this planet have a function. For some reason, humans, even though we have the power to manipulate, change, destroy, whatever, it doesn't mean that we should do it. It doesn't mean we should take advantage of it. And if we pay attention to what's happening in the world today, humans have gone so far from their natural instincts, their natural behavior. And I'm not talking about, the what they call it, the savagery mentality that they claim that we have, because we don't know what humans really are based on what we know on science, biology and all that stuff. That's one thing, but we don't know where we come from. We don't know what developed us. We don't know how we was formed. We don't know nothing about us in the sense of beyond what we have learned due to science and learning how human biology is. But what we do know, that we are here and observing, and this is where common sense, logic, and instincts and thoughts play a big role in human life. We we need to understand that just like everything on this planet, as we have been observing all these years, there's a structure, there's a design. Like I don't know, we have to constantly repeat that. There is a design. There's man, woman, and children, and we're supposed to live and orchestrate a certain specific way for us to live and survive in this world. Yes, they're gonna still be crime. Yes, they're gonna still be bad things. But guess what? It's not gonna be the amount. It's not gonna be the amount of what it is today. Because some people today don't even understand that they're human beings. They don't even understand that they're naturally like part of nature. They actually do. They believe that nature is like a spoiled, rotten deformity of creation, and they just got mixed up in it, or they're like the the overseer to what nature is. No, nature been here from what we understand is, and then again we don't even know. Let's take it back. We can't. Let me take it back. Let me take it back. I don't want to go too far because I was going into the human development. Truth is this: we don't know. That's the truth. The truth is we don't know what humans are in terms of beyond us being present who we are now. We don't know how we was created, how we got here, what was the structural design. We don't know. We just know that we here, and there's information that somewhat gave us some ideas of how we got here, but we don't know if those ideas was actual truth. Right? We don't know if there's actual truth. We don't know if we come from the primal waters of germs and bacteria and animals and all these things that we just came from the primal soup. We just woke up like let's get out. Oh, we don't know if we come from the man in the sky made us from dirt and he made woman and then man and woman created all these people down the line. We don't know. We don't know if we come from stardust and we just magically appear from light and then we became so normal to the earth that we become accustomed to the planet Earth, right? We don't know. Nobody knows, right? We're just going by what we are told. We have, as people, we have to open up our minds and realize that we are nothing but animals, just like all the other animals that live on this planet. We are nothing but like those. We just have a smarter way to move and operate, yes, because I kind of think, sideline, I kind of think that due to our intelligence and to all the other animals and stuff, I feel that we was put here to protect the planet. That's how I feel. But we don't know who put us here. We don't know who created the planet. But I feel that we was here to protect the planet because the planet protects us. So it's almost like, let's say I could use, it's almost like a treadmill, if you want to say. Let's say a treadmill. Not a treadmill, not a treadmill. It's almost like, what you call them things that goes around in circles? Like let's say yin and yang, right? It's spinning. It's constantly recycling itself, right? I want to use something that's a good recycle. But so the sun, the moon, the planet Earth, all the other planets around in the solar space. We can't speak much about it. We're trying to, but we can't speak much about it. So I'm not going to talk about it. I've never been in space. I'm not going to speak about it, right? The only thing I do is look up in the sky, right? The ocean, can't really say much about it. I'm not a fish. I can't just go in the ocean and swim wherever I want to swim. I mean, the ocean is very big and very vast than we think it is. And then when you look at the size of the planet, when you look at the size of the land masses on the planet Earth versus how big the planet Earth's supposed to be, the ocean is way much bigger. It makes like honestly, when you look, I'm not saying you could do this. I'm just using it as an example. Based on how the measurement of the planet Earth, looking at the Earth from outside, from a good distance, all you see is a blue marble. You don't even see the land mass because that's how tiny the land is. So that means there's part of the ocean, there's parts of the ocean that is so vast. We probably have never been part of certain parts of the ocean. Or maybe you can't go. We don't know. Because if you look at the landmass if you look at the map, we got Canada, America, South America, Africa, and the distance between, right? And then from Africa to to Europe, all the way down to Asia, right? And then you have Australia, right? Which is on the other side. The only land that's a little bit out there is, I guess I would say, Hawaii. You know, from what I know, you might have other small little islands or whatever, but Hawaii is the only one that I know that's like in the middle, like almost facing the middle of nowhere, almost. But everything else is like closed in, right? Because you got the Caribbean in between, from America to South America, and then beyond, and then that's and South America is like a little bit down, right? And then you have Africa, which is pretty much huge as hell, and then Africa is not too far from Europe, right? It's like right next door, right? And then Europe is a vast piece of land from one point to the next, and Europe includes Asia. It's not like they're separated, and then Australia is not too far off. They're like right there. Hawaii is the only island mass that's like somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's in between Europe and America, right? To but it's by itself facing the vastness, right? Um, there's also a question is like based on how they have the map, right? How they spread out the land masses on the map is as if when you spin the map, you will go from Africa to Europe, and then you come back around. You should be able to see Canada, right, or Alaska. But truth to be told, this the distance between if you wanted to call it the back part of the map, the distance between Europe and Alaska is so vast. I don't think they ever said. Matter of fact, planes don't even fly that way. Planes only fly from east to west and west to east. They don't fly. They don't go from east to north. Am I saying it right? Could you go from east to west, which is like from America to Europe, or as Africa, if you want to say that, and then Africa is on the west, right? So, and then from Africa to us would be the east. But let's say we want to go from the back end of Europe, right? Like say you're from Russia or whatever, and you're going, Greenland's in the place. You're going backwards on the back end of of the planet Earth to, I would say, you'll probably end up on the back end of Alaska, or Mexico, if you want to say that, Mexico, right? Canada, Mexico, Alaska. You know what I'm saying? In the back end, what is the distance on that from that plane to that plane, from that side to that side? That's a vast. We don't see that. We don't see those type of stuff. And this is what I'm saying. Like we are lied to. We are not told. Like for some reason, these things don't be in history books. You don't see those things in history books. You don't see. They don't teach you those things in school. Speaking about school, they don't teach real history. And then again, history have been changing over the years. There's always some new story, some new this, some new that. Like, why can't you just keep the story where it is? Just tell the truth, good or bad. It doesn't change. Because when people find out that the truth was not the truth, it's gonna distort the will on how people are supposed to operate in life. It creates a lot of dishonesty and malice and bad energy and anger and hate, and it's like it's almost like your parents been lying to you. It's for example, when you find, like, I used to believe in Santa Claus. I used to want to write letters. Actually, I did. Tooth Fairy and all this stupid shit. Man, all them shits is fake. Why do we lie to human beings so much? Why? Yes, we could have imaginary mindsets, but why lie to create the ability to be manipulated as and then become and then exercise those manipulation? Why? Why make that a normal thing? Why make that a common learning attribute for humans to live off of? Why? Why lie to the people? We have gone so far from, like, this is why I said, I know people are gonna judge me for this, but a lot of these, we should have left things where culture was normal, or we should at least, I think we should have left things based the way it was in terms of tribal. Now, in the tribal conception, yes, we could have still evolved. We still could have unite. Like for example, say like how America have different states. Any place we go, any place we go on the planet Earth, any location, whatever, you have different locations, different villages, different tribes, whatever you want to call them, right? They all have different slangs or behaviors or traditions or whatever. It doesn't change that they're on the same land. It doesn't change that we can communicate and get along. Why everything have to be a beef where mass people have to lie and cheat? And yes, there gonna be some people who's more fortunate. They're gonna always be. That's just part of the world. That's just natural. But based on the way we live in, we are not making things accessible for the less unfortunate people. If people choose not to do certain things, then that's understandable. But in this time, in our time presently, we are prevented to do some things. They make it difficult. They make it hard. And then they're gonna say, you just gotta work hard. Okay, but I'm doing it, but I still can't get where I wanna be. I'm doing it, but I'm still having these issues. I'm doing it, but I'm still not being like you. I'm still not on the same level as you are. Why? Because you is blocking or limiting the things that I can do, so I don't be where you are. Now, let's just be clear now. Everybody not gonna be in the same place. That's just the nature of it. Everybody can't do the same thing. Everybody not gonna have the same thing. Everybody not have the same life, and that's the mistake women are making today. A lot of people are making that today. Everybody want to have the same life. We can't all have the same life. You put yourself. If you want to be a person who just want to live comfortably, then you should be comfortable not having a lot of gadgets and material things in your house and stuff like that. And you should not be envy of the next person who have it. If this person like to show jewelries and stuff, but you don't, why you care? Why you give a shit that he got more jewelry than you? So what? Let him show off. Who gives a shit? If he come to you and say, "Oh, check out my jewelry," I'll be like, "Yo, that's nice, cool. Okay, I'm out. That's good for you, bro. I don't care about it. I don't wear jewelry. I'm not a jewelry guy. I never really liked jewelry, to be honest. Like, I've worn jewelry, but I just don't like it. I don't know. I just don't like things on top of me, on my wrists. I wear watches and I always bust them off. Or they make me feel like I'm being, I don't know, it just feel like something is holding me down or some shit. You know what I mean? I wear chains. I mean, every so often I wear a handmade necklace or something like that. I have a few handmade necklaces, but I still don't even wear those. So that's my issue with our people today, man. We have gone so far from human nature that we don't even know how to communicate. We think hiding things from our people. We think leaving people in the dark. We think having the superior power over somebody is gonna because you know more about somebody doesn't make you like the most best person in the area. It makes you the most conniving, manipulative person. That's what that makes you. As a lead, let's just say you're a leader, and you're a man just like every other man in the village. Because you're a leader, you think other men in the village should not know what you know? Because guess what? You need those men to also have the knowledge that you have to succeed or to accomplish certain things. Because you can't do it by yourself. And that's the naturalist thing about human beings. We need multiple people. We need a tribe to survive. By ourselves, we're not human beings. We're just individuals. And we're gonna die out way much quicker. Cause together we can build things. Together we can make things happen. Build it or break it down, whichever way. And that goes with the women. Same thing. They have their structure and design how they're supposed to function in life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna end it right here, though. We can continue this another time. Um, I am going. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about right now, I do have like little breakdowns, maybe some, like uh, how I should say, like I want to call them slides, to kind of like show what I'm talking about, so I can make a lot more sense. But I'm using my phone. My computer is kind of acting up, and I don't know. I'm trying to do records off my computer, but for some reason my camera, whenever I try to videotape or camera record from my computer, it's like it's not working. It kind of just blocking it or for some reason. I don't know, but I gotta once I figure that out. I guess I mean, I could do some share screen from time to time, but it's on the phone, so I don't get all the access to like certain things I want to do. I'll be able to move around the way I want to do. I'm still trying to figure it out, but anyway. So that's my take on today, and it's to be continued, of course. So if anybody see my video and you have questions like me, or you understand life like I do, I'm not trying to be part of the social media trend type thing. I'm trying to speak truth on the social media trend so people can live life naturally and understand life naturally, right? It's not hard to understand. Life is. They already teach you in school basic biology, the basic understanding of how the planet Earth is formed and how planet Earth is recycled within itself, and us being part of that recycle, how we can maintain it, how we cannot maintain it. And every day in the world we see how people have learned to come up with ideas and build things that use the natural things that's here on planet Earth to live and progress and so forth. That could go with electronics, mechanics, reconstructing the planet Earth and all these different things where we can all bond and blend in, and also the medicine, all of those different things, everything is right here that we can use to maintain ourselves. Now I will say population I think we should pay attention to population. Now I'm not talking about abortions or nothing like that. I'm saying I would say we need to slow down. That's what I would say. We need to slow down. I think we're moving too fast. We are, especially in America specifically, we are progressing too fast, and as well as children rebirthing as well. I think we need to slow down with that because we're doing too much. We're doing too much. We need to slow down. We need to focus on how to maintain the earth the way it is, or start learning how to develop things that can feed back into the earth versus just taking away and not putting back. Because things are changing for us. We can clearly see it every day. The islands are getting smaller because they're getting swallowed up by the ocean. We can see it. Clearly we can see it. And a lot of us are delusional and stubborn or whatever the case is, but we can clearly see things are changing. And We need to focus more on us, on our natural state of mind, because if we keep doing the way we, and that, then again, that goes along with the human behavior as well. We are going so far away from human moralism, human um, structural, um, like love and caring and like socializing and all these different things. Now, the negative things matters more than the positive things. You know what I'm saying? And that's not good. It's getting worse and worse by the minute. So, if you guys, like the video, like I said, I want to continue. We're gonna continue these conversations later on in the future. But like, share, subscribe. Let me know how you think, how you feel about the video, and peace out. Until the next one.